Dell's World number 437 for December 8th, 2025.
Well, thank you very much, and we're thrilled to be joined by one of the most successful business leaders and people anywhere in the country, whether it's technology, no matter what business you're talking about, there's really nobody quite like him. Michael Dell, very much of a legend, who's here with his really exciting announcement. It's so amazing.
And I am the aforementioned Michael Dell, but really it's just Mike. Works either way. Hey, I hope everybody's had a good month of December so far. And back so soon after Napod Pomo. And what I got today is an interview I did with Dan Jonkhoff of the Legacy Aviation Learning Center. And I did put this out over on Cup and Traverse City. So if you've heard the interview over there, well, this is the same interview. I figured put it far and wide. So that's what I'm going to get into. Of course, if you guys are listening to Cup of Traverse City, you already know what the weather is and all that. But yeah, I've been having a lot of fun with that. You can find that over at cupoftraversity.com and or on any platform that you listen to podcasts on. So anyway, without further ado, I'm going to send this over to myself and Dan from this Saturday. So today I'm at Legacy Aviation in Traverse City. It's a A&P school, but I'll let the founder and chairman of the board, Dan Jonkhoff, that will tell you all about it. How you doing, Dan?
Great, Mike. How are you?
So far, so good. Just all coffeeed up, and we already had one incident today, so...
Well, you called me chief cook and bottle washer, and I cleaned it up. So
yeah, there you go.
You're absolutely right.
Yeah, I had a little coffee incident here in the office, but that's all right. So tell us a little bit about how this all got started and what's the goals. Give me your spiel.
Well, sure. Glad to do it. It's been a fun journey so far, and it all started when I retired from my first career. And only career other than what I'm doing here at Legacy Aviation Learning Center is I was a funeral director and owned funeral homes, and I was a fifth generation. And finally, my daughters took over. They're both funeral directors, and so it was important that I let them be on their own. Take the funeral home where, every young person should do, and that's make it even better than I left it.
Yeah.
And so I was talking with my wife and telling her how retirement was really boring. I was used to working 7 days a week, 24 hours a day, like often funeral directors do, and because nobody makes an appointment when they're going to die, right?
Correct.
Yep. Anyway, so... she said, well, gosh, you've been flying for like 45 years. You should, do something at the airport. And I looked at her and said, boy, I've always wanted to be on the airport authority. Mm-hmm. And she said, well, you should apply. So I called the airport authority, and they said, well, believe it or not, the deadline to apply is tomorrow at 5:00. And so I quick called the person that's supposed to get the application. She said, I'll send it to you. You got to have it to me by 5:00 tomorrow. And I did everything she said. And next thing you know, I was called to do an interview, and there were 5 or 6 people interviewing. And I did the interview with a whole bunch of people in the room, county commissioners and administrative type people. And next thing you know, I got appointed to the airport commission.
Yeah.
Which was kind of exciting.
Yeah, it sure is. I've been to a couple of those meetings.
Yeah. Well, our airport has turned into an authority from a commission because we finally, we're going to have 1 million people come in and out of our airport on the airlines this year, over 1 million actually. And so now we have our own police force, our own fire department, our own in-house attorney, our own in-house engineer. It's quite the little airport. We're now the third biggest airport in the state of Michigan.
Yeah, and I think last I looked, you're the second busiest.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I think that was what I had read somewhere.
I don't know how that could be true. I got to believe Grand Rapids and Detroit beat us out, but
yeah. Well, maybe it was the third. I don't remember.
I think third is probably the right answer. I hate to say it. Yeah. But anyway, so I got on the authority, and the orientation consists of showing everybody who is new to the authority every square inch of the airport. Mm-hmm. Did I say every square inch?
Oh, yeah.
Truly the truth. And so went through the building, went through the parking lots, went through everything, and we even then get in a car and we drive up and down and all around the airport, and we go by all the buildings, explain what's in them, who's in them, what they do. Right. And we stopped in front of the building we're in right now doing this interview. And Kevin Klein, the director of our airport, executive CEO, he says, isn't it a shame? That building right there is going to be sold tomorrow or the next day. And it's going to be sold for a non-aviation use. And he said,
I heard rumors about that.
Yeah, everybody heard rumors. Well, the rumors were that it was going to be sold to people who were going to grow marijuana in it. Well, as soon as it becomes a non-aviation use, this particular building is on city property, not airport property, and it has what they call a hole in the fence. Yeah. But as soon as it's a non-aviation use, the hole in the fence gets closed forever, never to open again. So I went home, told my wife that, look, we can't let this cool building, become a non-aviation use and have the hole in the fence go away. And she said, well, how much is it? And I told her, she said, well, you need a partner.
For sure.
So I called a couple of friends, and one of them said, absolutely, I'm in. I'll be your half partner in this building. So we called up the owner and said, look, we're going to do something with that building. We don't know what it's going to be, but we're going to help kids, and we don't know how. Yep. But we're going to do something a lot better than possible other uses that are being looked at.
Right.
And he said, well, I'll have to think about that. And he stopped the other sale to think about it. I presume. I'm not actually sure about that, but I know it was supposed to happen quick. And he came back to us and said, it's yours.
Nice. And it's a nice building. It's been used for a couple other things. In the front half of the building, it was a TV station at one point. I forget what else was in here, but, and then somebody had rented the hangar part, and, but it is unique that you have that hole in the fence where the building's not owned or not on land that's, so you own the land with the building. Where if you build something on the airport, you get a lease, right? Is that how that works?
That's exactly how it works. And all of a sudden, your world is governed by the FAA, TSA, and everybody else that has to live on the airport. And we're not governed by any of those people. Right. We just pay taxes to the city. And that's pretty priceless.
Yeah, for sure.
We have a lease that's not a 50-year lease or a 100-year lease. It's a forever lease till I sell it. Yeah. And I don't have to get anybody's permission on who I sell it to. Yeah.
It's a beautiful building, and you guys really have it fitted out pretty well for its intended use now.
Yeah. Yeah. A friend of mine actually built it a long time ago when I was probably in my late 20s, believe it or not. And he used to have a King Air, and he would drive it into the hangar, and then he would back it out of the hangar. And he had a garage door opener that opened the door when he arrived, and it was pretty slick.
Yeah, the guy I knew that rented it for a while had a King Air 90.
Yeah.
In here.
That's right.
It's probably the same guy.
Bob Andrews?
No, I'm thinking Bob Goff.
Bob Goff, actually. He did
after
too.
That.
Yeah. So Isn't that something? I'd forgot Bob was here. You're right.
Yeah, I flew with him several times.
Yeah. Well, anyway, after we got the building, we didn't quite know what to do with it that was going to help kids, but we threw a lot of stuff at the wall, right? Ideas. We had people coming giving us ideas. We had all kinds of ideas, but nothing stuck great. But then one day the idea of, well, gosh, it would make a great, mechanic school, A&P school.
Yeah.
And so it kind of slid down the wall pretty slow. It didn't flat drop off the wall after we threw the idea there. So we checked into it. And just as we were getting ready, this was happening, the FAA changed the rules on how A&P schools work. Mm-hmm. They changed the rules because...
That never happens.
Yeah, hardly ever happens, right? Well, they changed the rules because there's a huge shortage of A&Ps coming up. Over 600,000 A&P shortage in the next 10 years or so worldwide. And they realized that somebody's got to speed the process up a little bit. Right. So they changed it from a time-based school, in other words, taking at least 2 years of A&P school to become an A&P, to a knowledge-based.
And for those not aviation savvy, A&P is airframe and power plant. Airframe and power plant. See, English is optional today.
Yeah. Well, and that means that they can work on anything that flies, and they're licensed by the FAA, the United States government's agency that takes care and governs all things that fly, right?
Big old thick book that everybody has to have.
Right. Yep. All the FARs. Well, anyway, so we found out that it was now knowledge-based. And so I looked at my partner and said, I'll bet you that there's a lot of fluff in those 2-year schools. And I'll bet we can do it in 1 year. And so it just so happened that I was at a conference, and I sat next to a gentleman who was clearly the smartest man in the room. And it turns out that he was the one who helped the FAA see that there was a different way that it could be done that could speed up how many mechanics get into the workforce so they can start training and learning and fill the gap that's going to happen. And I talked to him, and he said, yeah, absolutely, you could do it in a year, and I'll help you. And he had his PhD, Dr. Sean Galligan, and he said that you can make it happen. And so we called the FAA and said, hey, we want to start a school here, and we want to make it so it's a 12-month program. And they said, yeah, well, that'll take a lot of paperwork. Let's see how that goes. Yeah. And
weren't you guys the first school?
We were one of the first.
Yeah.
That's right. And Dr. Galligan helped us to do it, and he had everything, all the syllabuses, he just had it all set up. He just knew what it would take and how long each class should take, and it was amazing how smart he is. And but about doing it. Next thing you know, the FAA said, we can't find any flaw in this. No kidding. You're being tutored by Dr. Galligan. He's super smart, and he helped the law to get passed. And next thing you know, we had our license, and we started. And we started with only 3 kids because the FAA didn't approve us till November. But 3 months later in January, or 3 months, 6 weeks later, we started with 3 kids. That's as many as we could recruit. And we learned from them, and they learned from us, and they graduated in a year, and it was pretty darn exciting. We've gone from there. And so far we've had about 26 kids graduate in 2 years, and we got 27 kids in the class right now. And our next class, which starts August of 26, will have about 45 to 50 kids in it, and that's where we're going to stop, at 50 kids.
Yeah, you're going to be doing 2 shifts on that one, probably.
No, but we're going to be able to do 2 sides of the building, and we're going to hire 2 more instructors, so we'll have 4 instructors for 50 kids. Nice. And that's a great ratio of teaching. That's a unique ratio because we're teaching a lot. This is, you come to our school, and if you miss a day, you got to make it up at night. Or you got to, we have instructors that come at night, adjunct instructors, and we have adjunct instructors here on Saturdays, and the kids have to make up time. Yeah. And it's intense.
Yeah, I imagine. I went through Air Force maintenance school, and that was pretty intense. But we only did like 4 hours a day or 6 hours a day or something. And this sounds a little more intense.
Our kids get here at 7:00 in the morning. Because we want to teach them what it's like to work a real shift.
Mm-hmm.
Shifts start at 7:00 in the morning at the major airlines and in a lot of maintenance shops, even general aviation. And we want to teach them how to get up that early. A lot of them didn't do that when they went to high school, right? And so they start and they go from 7 to 3, 5 days a week. And it's all learning. There's incredible amount of book work. They got to take their FAA exams. We allow them to take it as they go.
Mm-hmm.
They got to take 3 written exams that they have to pass. And they got to take 2 oral and practical with FAA examiners.
Yep.
And they can do that all in a year.
Yeah, it's amazing. And, this hangar out here, they get a little they get practical experience working on stuff.
We can do so many different projects out there. They learn riveting. They learn safety wiring. They learn fiberglass. They learn electronics.
Safety wiring was always fun to me.
Yeah. Well, believe it or not, funny you bring that up. We've had many, many, many companies come in from, Envoy to SkyWest to Coletta. And the one thing they say is make sure the kid can safety wire.
Now, do you make them do it manually or do you get the safety wire pliers?
They get both. Yeah. They get to learn both. But, but every kid that leaves here, because what we were told by the companies that are going to hire them, they know how to safety wire.
Yeah.
And that's one of their classes that they get graded on, and it's important.
That and soldering were my 2 bugaboos.
Yeah. I'm not sure how much work they get on all that, but they learn a little bit about everything.
Sure.
Because all we're doing in reality, Mike, is we're giving them a license to learn.
Yeah, and that's the way it is in all aviation. You get your pilot's license. That's a license to learn because you don't know everything. And I'm sure with the mechanics, it's the same thing. And, and with the mechanic, you got hundreds of airframes out there that are different. And engine, even a Cessna 172 could have, any number of engines in the thing. So that's a different skill. And avionics, all the avionics stuff. And you probably don't teach a lot of avionics.
We don't, no.
Yeah, because that's kind of a subspecialty.
We're working on it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I can tell you one of the best stories that I have about starting the school is when we were getting our all the materials and all the parts so the kids could have laboratories and work on things. One of the things the FAA said was, you need a jet engine. Mm-hmm. Well, you just don't go out and get a jet engine with a budget, right? Even the ones that are run out cost maybe thousands and thousands and tens of 20s and 30s and 40s and maybe $100,000 just to get one of those, right? Mm-hmm. So I called over to Coletta Airlines over in Oscoda, Michigan, and I said, I need a favor. I mean, we're going to be an A&P school. I'm sure our kids will want to stay in Michigan, and you're in Michigan. But the FAA said, you've got to have a jet engine. And they said, well, let us think about that a little bit. And I think it was the next day they called up and said, we got a 727 here that we're going to donate to you. It has 4 jet engines, 3 on the airplane and the APU.
Yeah.
And
so you got the whole airplane.
We got the whole airplane, and we'll let you even keep it here for free.
Oh,
and
nice. You
can bring the students over here and do whatever you want to it, whenever you want.
Nice.
And the next thing you know, we said, well, they said we got to have a jet engine in our building here. They said, well, we'll take the number 1 engine off and you get a trailer and come over here. We'll put it on the trailer for you and you can bring it home.
Yeah, I've seen it sitting out
it's
there.
Sitting out there. And now it's got all the numbers on it, every single part that we teach the kids what every single part of that 727's engines are. And it's a great experience. Then we take them to Oscoda once or twice a year, and we go through the airplane. It's great fun.
And Oscoda, that's an old Air Force base. Wirt Smith Air Force Base was what it was. It was a B-52 base.
That's right.
At least when they shut it down. And now over there's lots of maintenance activity going on. Coletta is there. What's the other? Evergreen, is that the other one?
Yeah.
That's there. Plus there's a 747 engine shop over there.
Right. It's a boneyard.
Yeah, and it's a boneyard. Lots of 747s out there.
747s. We actually had a student. I call them kids because they're all way younger than me. But one of our students wanted to be a deassembler.
Mm-hmm. That's
he
a
wanted
good place
to go to
go.
Coletta and work and take airplanes apart.
Yep.
And we all thought that was pretty funny and pretty unique. Well, in the beginning, he thought, well, he really didn't have to learn how to fix them.
Mm-hmm.
And so he wasn't studying too hard. And so one of our instructors called Coletta and said, what's it going to take? They said, well, first he's got to get his A&P license. He's also got to learn how to fix them because you got to know how to fix them in order to know how to take them apart.
Right. Because, if you take a part off of an airplane that's going to be reused, you got to know how it works because if you take it off in the wrong way, it might not be any good.
Exactly. So the next thing you know, the kid really, really engaged in class and really became a learning, smart young person. And he graduated and I haven't heard yet if he got the job, but he could have changed. A year can
you just never know.
Forever
you
in a
might
young
want to go
man.
work on Cessnas or something.
Exactly. Yep.
Yeah, because when I was in the Air Force, we'd have to go pull parts off of either wrecks or even go to the boneyard in Tucson and pull something. And you had to know what you were doing. Just plain and simple.
Yeah.
And so you've had you said 27 now that have graduated.
Yeah.
And pretty good job placement, I'm sure.
Yeah, they all get jobs.
Yeah.
It's 100% job placement. They're going to get 2, 3, 4 offers. We've got kids in Marquette, Michigan working for Envoy. We've got kids down at we're in Chicago at SkyWest. We've got kids working down in Battle Creek at one of the MROs. We've got kids in Salt Lake City. They're all over. We've got one student that, was bound determined to work for Delta, which has an extremely difficult, application process.
They're top notch.
They're very good. And she wants to work in Tokyo. And so, we've got jobs available for kids where they can work 6 months in Alaska and 6 months in Honolulu.
Yeah.
We've got jobs where they can fly on airplanes.
It's hard to find a mechanic. If you own an airplane yourself and you need something done, there's not a ton of places you can take your airplane,
Exactly.
There's a few around, but, and a lot of those guys are getting older. So they're going to need new blood.
Yeah, all the AMPs from World War II are, they're not working anymore. And so now you got the next generation AMPs from the military. And now we're having to produce our own. And there's about, 150 schools around the country is all that are doing this and training kids. Most of the programs are still 2-year programs. So that's what makes our program unique. We're a 1-year program and,
get it all done at in one fell swoop.
One fell swoop.
Traverse City's a nice place to be most of the year.
So. I think it's a good place to be even in the winter.
Oh yeah, for sure.
The kids that come here that don't already live here, we have an apartment complex that we turn into a dorm room, and they've got a pool, they've got an exercise room. I mean, it's
that's
pretty
challenging around here to find housing.
Right. Well, there's a lot of them going up right now, so it's a little easier than it used to be a couple years ago.
For sure. Yeah. apartments everywhere.
Yeah, going up. We're very blessed. But we'll put 4 kids in a 2-bedroom apartment, do a bunk bed, and it's unbelievably reasonable for the students, and they're loving it.
Yeah.
Yeah, we even provide maid service. We know that putting 4 boys in a room without a little maid service on occasion is probably not going to be a good experience.
I'm guessing the girls aren't much better.
Probably right. Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, you guys you start classes, twice a year?
We used to, but now we're down to once a year. We're looking at other options. But most kids think that school starts, in August or September.
Right.
That's how it's been their whole year. And to start a new class in January takes a lot of mental strength to get your brain around that.
Sure. Yeah. So the Air Force was funny. They just started it whenever they needed to.
Well, that's because they can control you a lot better.
Oh, yeah, for sure. Yeah, nothing like being in a cornfield in Illinois marching to class.
Exactly. Yeah, we don't do that, right?
So a lot of other things you got going on here in this building. I know you allow the EAA, a local group, to use the building somewhat, and also Civil Air Patrol.
Right. When I bought the building, I wanted this to be the center of aviation for our airport, because once 9/11 happened, you just can't go out and walk up to an airplane and say hi to the pilot and sit in the side of the runway and watch airplanes take off. They put up fences, they gave you badges, it made it very difficult for people to congregate.
You just can't hang out at the airport here.
Nope.
Now, some other airports you can, but like Antrim, I've been up there a few times. You can go hang out in the building there, and there's always people around, and it's kind of fun. But yeah, this is kind of what this is becoming here. I joke with people that I got to go to Coffee Klatch,
Yeah.
And we come over here and Saturday mornings and drink coffee, eat donuts, and, just shoot the bull.
Just like you used to 30 years ago when you had the old building for general aviation, right?
Yeah.
So that's one of the things that my partner understood when we bought this building, is that we were going to give the EAA and the CAP free office and rooms to have events on Mondays and Thursday nights and other days of the week, Saturdays when we're not in school.
Yeah.
And it works great.
And we got quite the sim room here now, too. What is there, 4, 5, 6 of them in that room?
6 sims and even one moving sim.
Yeah.
And that's one of the things we do at our school, too, is we teach all the prospective AMP students, how to fly an airplane on a sim.
Yeah.
So they have a general idea.
Yeah, it's always a good thing, A lot of the AMPs I know also are pilots, so that's a good thing, but not all of them.
Oh.
And some of them, I don't like flying, but I like airplanes.
Yeah. Being on, around airplanes is pretty sexy, right?
Yeah, it can be.
And airplanes are really cool.
Yeah.
And to know how to fix them or fly them is, not for everybody, and it's pretty cool if you're one of those people that are.
Yeah, it's definitely it's a muscle memory thing, because that was my trouble in training, is just gaining the muscle memory. Once you do that, though, you can jump into a different airplane, and everything's similar.
Yeah. I'm a pilot also. I have no tools. Why I picked the mechanics school, the AMP school, I have no clue. All I know is they made my life so much better, keeping my airplanes flyable and safe with my family, that I always appreciated and admired them.
Right.
And that's why I thought, wow, this would be great, because I don't know a thing about it, but wouldn't it be cool to have more around?
Yeah, for sure. And I've seen your airplane in the hangar here, getting that done on it, and that's kind of a handy bonus.
Yeah. So, so the students can't work on an airplane that's flyable, but they can observe work.
Sure.
So I'll make it so that the A&P who has an inspector's license, IA, he can do my annual in the hangar and the students can watch it.
Yep.
And invaluable, right? And, they can watch all the plates get taken off and do a lot of things and stick their head in.
They do have a apprentice program of some sort, don't they?
They do. It's like a 3-year program.
Yeah.
Where you can work at a shop somewhere, and but holy mackerel, it's not at great wages, and 3 years is a long time in a life when you can come to a school and in 1 year
get it knocked out,
and be making really good wages. Our kids are making upper 20s and into the 30s really rapidly, and most of them will be making in 5 years into the 40s, $40 an hour. It's a life-changing event, and making enough money to have a good middle-class living.
Yeah, the only reason I never went for the A&P was the length of the time you had to go to school, and what we did in the Air Force didn't count.
Right.
So that was, if I could have just got out and did, I'd probably be doing that right now.
Sure.
But,
one of the things we're starting here soon, not exactly sure when, is we're going to do a special program for the veterans that get out of the service. And for some reason, the FAA doesn't acknowledge that they probably are A&Ps in the service, but there's a 2-week program that we could do for them that would teach them how to pass the FAA tests, and we're going to do that as soon as we can.
I think that's changed since I got out 30 years ago, so
yeah.
I have no idea how that works now.
I have no idea how it works either, but all I know is that 2 of our 3 instructors right now are retired military, and they want to help their fellow military friends get their license, and so we're going to start one of those programs soon.
Well, that'd be great.
Yep.
Especially we've got the Coast Guard base here, and there's a lot of guys over there that want to come back here when they retire.
Yep.
Maybe that'd be perfect for them.
Yeah, we have 1 Coast Guard retiree, we have 1 Air Force retiree, we have 1 instructor that she worked for 2 major airlines in her life, and then a major airline manufacturer, and so we've got lots of different experiences here.
Yeah, and all here in Little Traverse City.
Yeah, Little Traverse City. Yeah, and that's what makes our school special too, is that we're a smaller school. There are lots of really big schools out there, but our main goal is everyone becomes an A&P. It's not just getting through the school. You're going to get out and, get your licenses. That's really important to us. We don't give up on you if you don't get it done exactly by the last day of school.
Sure.
You can come back as often as you need to practice, to study, to go over what maybe isn't perfectly clear to you. We've always got instructors available for you on certain nights of the week and on weekends, and that's really important to us.
Right.
Our goal is to have 100% of the kids graduate from our school and become A&Ps.
Yeah. Because a lot of, like nursing school, for instance, they don't care whether you ever get the license. They just want you to get through the school.
Yeah. That's not us.
Yeah.
We are doing everything humanly possible we even make it so that we pay, included in your tuition is the fee to take the tests.
Oh, nice.
And that's thousands of dollars that a lot of these kids don't have, but that's included. We even pay for tools.
That's similar to a check ride with a DPE. You have to pay them to
what's
do
a
the
check
test?
Ride with a DPE cost nowadays?
Well, I paid $800.
Thank you. Yeah. So a lot of these students don't have $800. So we include it in their tuition, and so that when they're ready to do it, they come to us, tell them they're ready. We write them a check. Yep. It's simple as that.
Nice.
And they can go take the test.
Yeah, and then you get that all done. They got the nice piece of plastic or paper. I think it's the same as a pilot's license, isn't it? Yeah, it's that plastic.
Yeah, it's pretty darn special.
Yeah,
and yeah, it's really important that we're a little unique that way, and that we really, 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 really push hard to make sure everyone
if you're going
reaches their goal.
Spend all that time doing it, and even though it's only a year, you want to make sure it finishes, you know, right. And that's the thing, you know. I mean, you probably don't have a lot of people dropping out of it, do you?
We don't.
Yeah, I was going to say.
The dropout rate is virtually zero.
Yeah.
We had one young man who dropped out. We found out that, you know, he had some prior challenges with the law. And we knew that because of that, most employers wouldn't hire him.
Right.
And so we helped him to realize that maybe it wasn't in his best interest.
Yeah.
And so, you know, we're not doing this just to, you know, get their money to, you know, for tuition. If we don't think they're going to become AMPs, we're going to help them to find something else that they'll be better at.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Sure. And, you know, and that's the thing. It's more of a, you know, obviously it's a for-profit thing.
Oh, we're actually a nonprofit.
Oh, you are a nonprofit.
501c3.
Okay, then that's even better.
Yeah, that's why we were able to get that 727 donated to us.
Oh, very good.
I'm sure they took a tax write-off.
Oh, I'm sure they did. What is
I'm glad they did.
I wonder what a 727 would go for these days. I don't think any of them are flying anymore, are they?
I don't think so. Yeah.
Anyway, so yeah, it's a great thing you guys are doing here, and like I said, and myself, I appreciate the EAA connection. And just the chance to hang out with people. You know, I've retired military, retired airline pilots that come in here for coffee, and
we got
students and
astronauts
everybody
that come here.
Yeah, exactly.
We've got every single type of aviation you can imagine. Today there are 5 or 6 kids from the Legacy Aviation AMP school that are doing virtual reality things around here. And, you know, I mean, there's just so
There's always something going on all the time.
All day Saturday. And if you come on most nights, there's something happening.
Nice.
You know, between the Civil Air Patrol, the EAA, the students getting extra help. It's crazy busy building.
Yeah, well, very good. I guess we'll call this an interview, and thanks for being on. We've been talking about this, for a year?
Yeah.
Finally just set a date, said, we're going to do this, damn it.
Yep, and we got her done. Thank you. Thank you for letting me share what a cool program we have. If you're looking to find us on the internet, we are under legacyaviation.org.
Okay, and I will also have links and whatnot in the show notes, so just go to whichever podcast you're listening to, because I'm going to put this out on 2, and there'll be links to everything in the show notes.